So folks, this was Homeworld 2. One of the hardest games I've actually played through my gaming career. It's not hard compared to, let's say, a game like Commandos that I've played before, because it's not that kind of a game, but you need to make decisions on what you do, when you do it, with what you do it, and that just makes the game really hard in my opinion. Sometimes to know before something happens what's gonna happen, it just is not possible. And I think that makes the game so entertaining, that you just can get, with the units that you have at the moment, you can maybe hold off an attack, or you can do things that the game expects you to do without having to know beforehand, but just barely a minimum. And then when you play it again, you know of course that you have to construct this and have to construct this, and you have to divert your units to this position and that position, and that really makes the game so special, that even though you do not know beforehand what's gonna happen, normally you kind of are prepared for what's gonna happen, with the amount of units you have, of course. What I don't like about this game is the fact that you cannot produce your units before you leave the mission, which is a bit sad, honestly, because I would like to just do it again. Like, you've lost 10 frigates, and you want to build your frigates up before you go into the next mission, and you can't do that because once you complete the objective, you're warping out, which is a bit unnecessary, probably, but it makes up for a lot of a faster pace here. You don't have such a long time between missions, which I actually quite enjoy. The game's pretty fast-paced. It has not so much empty room for like waiting and just building up your units before something is gonna happen. At the beginning, yes, that is true, although only for the first mission, to be honest, because the second mission already lets you, okay, 6 transport, defeat the enemy, protect everything, and you're absolutely fine and on your own. Or mission 3, the same thing. So I think that in the first few playthroughs in this game, I really had a lot of trouble to figure out what I have to do, and how I can achieve these things the game wants me to do. Losing too many ships here and too many ships there, and couldn't produce too many units, or the right units at the time. Didn't know how to distribute my hotkey groups and so on. So that was a little bit of a problem, I would think. And also for you people out there who said, okay, could you play this game? I really can't get anywhere close to the end, or in the middle or something, in a mission wise. I think you shouldn't make yourself too many thoughts about that. I think if you really want a mission to be completed, you just have to try and fiddle around a little bit with your unit combination, maybe a little bit with your tactics, although that can of course depend on how is your fleet going into this mission. If it's crippled already and you have a hard time keeping up with that, that can really make the mission even harder, and sometimes, but only sometimes, impossible to complete. So I really think that there's some misconception there sometimes, that the developer thinks, okay, you can go into that mission with unit X and unit Y of count Z, like 4 of these and 5 of these and 6 of these, that's fine, you could do that. And when you have 3 of all of these units, you basically have already lost before the mission starts. I think that is a little bit of a problem here in this game sometimes, that some concepts, some scripts just are too on point of the game. And I don't think this is really needed, but it's part of the game, and it's part of the difficulty, and it's part of the entertainment in this case, I think. Talking of entertainment, this game was really good. And I really mean really good back in the days when I played it. I was quite frustrated about the mission with the battle cruisers coming in and the whole fleet getting at you, and I moved forward and getting destroyed all the time, like 10 times in a row or so. It was really frustrating. But after figuring out how to do this, it was actually quite entertaining, knowing how to do things and knowing how to move your units around. And getting things done is not that easy sometimes when you don't know what to expect of a mission. Especially when you think, oh, it's gonna be waiting up and then just moving out and getting utterly destroyed by enemy fleets. Quite embarrassing actually. But still, enjoyable as well, I think. So, I've heard that Relic is not going to be doing a third part of this game, unfortunately, for the time being. This is sad news since actually 2003, since this game came out. Because they say, okay, we could probably do that, but at the moment we probably don't have the time nor the resources to do it. It's very sad actually, because I think this game, or the story arc that could be explored after this, like opening up a whole lot of worlds and a wide network of warp gates and so on, could be really something interesting and could really be something engaging when you have a good story and a good script in mind. Of course, there could also be an online game made of this, so having warp gates, connected sectors, and wars raging among factions. That actually sounds like an online game to me, maybe, at some point. But, I don't know. Might just be something that's on my mind right now. So, to round up this game, let's talk a little bit about the actual things in the game. The graphics for a time, I think for that time when it came out, it were pretty darn good. They had quite the beautiful explosions, and the ship detail was quite good, I think. The sound quality, on the other hand, was even better. I think especially the music was very well done, and for the situations, perfect. Perfect. The actual sounds in game, of course, depend on how far you are away from your units, but that's okay. The voice acting was pretty darn impressive, I think. Especially the voices that you had for the Bentusi and the narrator guy, it was the same. But still, it was very, very good. And also Makan was really sounding intimidating. I wanted to say intimate. Blah! Intimidating, I meant, of course. Blah! Good lord, getting that picture out of my head. Karen's Jet was definitely a very well-picked voice. Storyline-wise, I would say it was good. I think having a good, great objective like uniting the three cores and then finding a big-ass ship to destroy everything in its path is actually a pretty darn okay storyline. It's pretty basic, but still very good, actually. What else do we have? Controls. I think this game has actually well thought out controls. Sometimes the camera gets stuck a little bit here and there. Not sure why that is. Maybe it's a bug, I have no idea. But that focus effect sometimes renders the camera impossible to move around at the real points where it should be. That's sometimes a little bit tricky. But other than that, hotkeys are very well designed, so you can move around your units quite well. The interface integrates with that pretty darn good. And I think control-wise this was actually pretty darn good. Yeah, there's not so much I can actually say negatively about that. And I'm pleased with that. Yeah. Gameplay-wise, I like the going up and down features, which is something that not too many games have done before that game. We did have Star Trek Armada 2, I think, that actually came out before Homeworld 2. So they had that in there as well, with going up and down and so on. It's not too much of a problem, really. I think you get used to it. And I also think in multiplayer it probably plays a much larger role than it does in the campaign. I haven't played this game online, though. I've only played it with friends in LAN mode, and that's about it really. We had a few matches, nothing too specific, nothing too engaging, but it definitely was a nice multiplayer game, I can tell that. If you know a little bit of tricks here and there, it can be quite entertaining to get your opponent on the wrong foot. It's actually quite interesting and quite funny to do that sometimes against one of your friends. Just getting with some kind of special ships in their back and just stabbing them, so to speak. It was quite fun. Campaign-wise, I would say this game is definitely one of the well-thought-out campaigns I've played. The missions integrate themselves quite nicely. I think these little bit of intervals, like you want to save Captain Soban, for example, you get intercepted by something like the Keepers, and then something happens again, and then something happens again, and then you can actually just go and save Soban. I think these little steps that you follow through the storyline are very well thought out, and really feature the actual concept of that save your homeworld and save the whole galaxy from these Vega invaders, and you need to do this to save the galaxy. I think that is actually pretty well portrayed in this game, and I like that a lot. So, to sum up all this, Homeworld 2 was an awesome game. I liked it a lot. I hope you people out there enjoyed it too, because I definitely did. And as always, do not give up on this game. It can be hard, it can be difficult, it can be so frustrating, but don't give up. Don't give up. Continue playing, try to get the campaign done. It's very well worth it. And even though the missions are hard, try to be harder, try to punch your way through. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So props to the game, and props to your will to get this done. Because I know if I can do it, you can do it. So this was Homeworld 2. What's up next? Well, I don't know yet. I have an idea what I want to do, but I'm not going to spoil it yet, because I have to practice around a little bit with things I want to do. But for the time being, this is Darky Arenas, and this was Homeworld 2, and I'm saying keep your wits about you, continue playing, and thanks for watching. So, I will see all you fine ladies and gentlemen on my next video, and videos, and in my next LP. So, I will see you then, and I will wish you all a good evening. Darky Arenas, signing off.